This is episode 100 of my vlog. 100 episodes ago, I opened this series by saying to you,
this is an experiment. I have been wondering for the longest time, what do I do on YouTube? So I've been thinking vlogs.
And vlogs is exactly what I did. Every weekday, I produced an around 10-minute vlog for you on YouTube and Facebook. In this episode, I have taken out my favourite bits from every single episode for you so that you could watch them whilst I tell you what it was like to create 100 vlog episodes. I would make one episode every weekday and they would range anywhere between 8 minutes and 12 minutes. I think there was even one sneaky 16-minute one in there where I had just done so much that day. And I would focus on primarily what kind of DIY I'd done that day, but just anything really behind the scenes, anything that I do to help make DIY with Emma happen, which included all of those little DIYs that drive you nuts because they're a 5-minute job but you just never get around to them. Not to mention my Gadmin days, which were days of admin that just make you want to go gah. My very first vlog video was on the 6th of March. And it's now the 12th of August. I had a few holidays in between. And I want to start by telling you what I've enjoyed about these 100 episodes. I started creating content about 4 or 5 years ago, and it was always short form content. And so creating longer form, horizontal content was completely new to me. And because I was making one of these videos every day, I learned very quickly how to make long content interesting. It taught me how best to start a video so that it was engaging straight away, and what kind of detail was interesting. Like this footage of me unboxing this saw for the first time. I also really enjoy sharing the process with you because it shows just how much goes into creating content, so much more than creating a quick video and pressing upload. You're the set designer, you're the videographer, you're the director, producer, you edit your videos. You decide when to post it, you decide on your SEO, your text. And because I'm not just a content creator, I'm also a business owner. I have all of the fun and exciting parts that come with that as well. I started my first ever follow along project because I wanted to be held accountable. I was finding it really difficult to motivate myself to start the project, and so I said, hey, I'm going to upload just a small bit of what I've done today every single day so that you know what I've been doing. Even if I've not made much progress, I just want to feel like I'm getting somewhere. That was 3 years ago, but I always still find myself feeling motivated when I share with you consistently what I'm working on because I know that you expect to see some sort of progress. And probably one of my favourite things about content creation is hearing from you in the comments the ways in which what I've shared is either useful or it's relevant because you've done it yourself recently. And I can learn from you too, like this video where I told you that the rats had been stealing my seeds and you gave me some ideas on how to stop that happening. I've also really enjoyed being able to share with you some of my personal successes, like the award that I won earlier this year, or the other 2 that I'm nominated for later this year, or the work that I did recently with BBC Studios and Pinterest. And these were not the kinds of things that I would normally organically have shared on my social media if it were not for doing a daily vlog where I'm talking to you about the very real things that are happening for me every day, even if they're not DIY related. I also discovered that people on Facebook really enjoy this longer content as well because I share it on YouTube and Facebook. And believe it or not, it wasn't until episode 50 that I started posting them on Facebook too. My most popular episode was this one, where you saw me uncover the injury that I caused myself with my sander. And if you haven't seen the episode yet, don't worry, I was fine. I've completely recovered. The views I would have on any given video would be anywhere from about 100 views to 3,500 on YouTube and up to about 11,000 on Facebook. And a little bit later in this video, I'll share with you what my earnings were from creating these videos because both Facebook and YouTube are platforms that pay creators for their content. So now for the juicy bit. What are the parts of creating 100 vlog episodes that have been challenging? I think first and foremost, I discovered that my life is very boring. Day to day, I can spend hours and hours sat at a computer doing my tax return, filling in forms, posting products that I've sold, and those things I think are not inherently interesting. And so I found myself feeling a little bit of pressure to make my life more interesting than it is, and that's quite hard to do. I'd began to focus less and less on the annoying admin of my day and trying to just shine a spotlight better on the things that I did during the day that are interesting, that are relevant. But even then, the truth is, some days I might just be in bed all day. You know, those kind of days. It would literally just be a 10-minute video of me sat scrolling on my phone on the sofa. Riveting. So how long does a vlog video take? So it can take about 3 hours to gather all of my content together in the editing app, to cut it down, to do the voiceover, to save a copy, to upload that to YouTube, then to re-edit a new copy for Facebook because the dimensions are different. I have to change it all to being square instead of long. And you can only do some of the activity on your phone. So for Facebook, for example, I have to go onto my laptop afterwards to upload the thumbnail because you can't do that on the phone. And to be able to monetize my content on YouTube, you also have to go onto your laptop to switch that toggle on. So it's a mix between my phone and my laptop. And that piece of work takes about 3 hours for the editing and the uploading as a minimum. But that, of course, doesn't include the actual DIY itself or any of the filming. So if I'm doing a project that day, perhaps I'll do 5 or 6 hours worth of painting or fixing something in my bedroom. That is on top of the 3 hours that I might do editing. So let's say I'm doing, on average, about 5 hours of work a day creating these vlog videos. That's 25 hours a week. And so I introduced this 25 hours a week into my schedule back in March on top of my full-time job as a business owner. So I'm still creating my short form content. I'm still reaching out to brands to do partnerships together. I'm still creating that content for them. I'm still doing the research and development phase for my clothing brand. I'm still developing my podcast. I'm still writing my book. And so I'm sure it won't surprise you to learn that I usually start work about 10 in the morning and I get to bed about 2. But I hear you ask, was it worth it? My mission for DIY with Emma is always to make DIY accessible to everyone. So I'm always asking myself, is what I'm doing right now the most effective use of my time to be able to achieve that mission? And one of the ways of making DIY accessible is making my core content free to access. And so if the content that I make and upload to social media is free, I have to find other ways to make money to be able to fund my business. And as you know, I partner with brands that I really love so that I can do some marketing on their behalf. And that's one of the ways that I make income. Another way that I have been pursuing through doing these daily vlogs is money from the platforms, so from Facebook and from YouTube. So this is your opportunity to join in with a bit of a guessing game. How much money do you think that I've made from creating 100 vlog videos? If we say each episode on average is 10 minutes and posted on 2 separate channels, times 100 episode, that is 1.5 days worth of content. Solidly watching it, it would take you 1.5 days to watch everything start to finish. And the time taken to generate that content is about 500 hours. So do you have a figure in mind that you think I might have earned from that input? My total earnings from both platforms is about £200. I can practically hear you all gasping in your own homes. I'm sure you can all agree that the way that I'm doing my content at the moment is not going to be sustainable. So I'm going to be switching up the way that I make my content for YouTube and Facebook, for my longer form content. And I'll let you in on a little sneaky secret. I knew that I would be making this change on episode 84. I wanted to get us to 100 episodes as a sort of experiment. And it also gave me a chance to finish off a lot of the projects that I've been doing. So what are the changes that I'm going to make? The way that I would like to run this video from now on is to not be producing daily vlogs, but produce a piece of content per project. Let's take the decking project, for example. I'd love to be able to create a video where from start to finish, you get to see everything. I've noticed that online, the projects where you get left satisfied with the sense of having seen the entire project from start to finish are usually very popular because they are so satisfying. And because every project is unique and you have no idea how long a project will take to finish, this means that the times in which I publish a piece of content will be a bit more sporadic. Taking this new approach will allow me to create much more considered and well thought out content. Because what I make at the moment, I obviously do put a lot of time into it, but it is comparatively thrown together because I'm making them so quickly every day. And I really want to get good at my craft at making long form content. And the reason I have shared this information with you in this way, that I won't be continuing with this format, is because I know a lot of you eagerly wait for these videos to drop in your metaphorical inbox, even to sit down with your family and friends and watch them together. One of the biggest benefits that I feel I've gotten out of doing this 100 vlog series is that I now feel so much more confident making longer form content. And that is really important to me because I have for a year and a half now been developing a DIY course for new homeowners. And the only reason I've not released it yet is because I want it to be an excellent course. I don't want it to be an okay course. I want it to be an amazing course. And part of the reason why that's so important to me is because this will be my first paid product. Not everybody has the time to sift through all of my free content to find out exactly what they need. So I'm creating something that is a package for people who say, do you know what? I don't want to search for all your content. I'm happy to pay for a course that is packaged just for me that I can read through. And I will be using those funds to subsidize the people who can't afford to pay for content. That's how I'm going to make this work. And because there's no limit to how many people could buy an online course because it's digital, this means that I'm not the bottleneck in terms of earning money for the business, and it means I can grow faster, create more content. Within the next year, I am desperate to bring some people onto my team so that I'm not having to continue to be the producer, the editor, the stage setter. I've got to the point where I've taken us as far as I can go by myself, and now I need a team. I need people to come in and help me with this. So that means setting up my first product that I can sell and focus on creating videos that are quality over quantity. So does that make sense? I feel like I've been talking for a very long time. By the way, I should say all of this content was in chronological order, so you've been watching it from the very start up until now. I also wanted to share that it's entirely possible that I will look to create daily vlogs in some format in the future. It's some of my favourite content that I've ever made, and I have enjoyed making it so much. It is the reason that I have been happy to stay up until, it's 1:20 in the morning right now, and I am recording the audio for this video because I enjoy it so much, and I really hope to revisit this in the future. It's most likely that the next video that you'll see being posted in long form is going to be a start to finish video of the decking project. I want to test out this new format, the satisfying start to finish vibe, with a project that I've already done. And when that comes out, I'd love to know what you think about it. But until then, I'll still be publishing my short form content on both channels, and I'll be telling you more about the launch of my DIY course as soon as I know. I'm really hoping to have this ready before the festive period. And what I really want to know is, what episode or what particular project was most memorable for you in this last 100 episodes? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to know what stuck.